Remember when Netflix was just the company that mailed you DVDs? When streaming meant waiting for a buffering wheel to stop spinning? Yeah, that world is dead. July 15th, 2016. Netflix drops all 8 episodes of a show nobody asked for. A sci-fi horror series set in the 1980s starring a bunch of unknown kids. No big-name actors, no established IP, no Marvel, no DC, no franchise. Just a gamble. Within 72 hours, something unprecedented happens. The internet explodes. Not gradually, not organically, instantly. Released July 15th, 2016, Stranger Things kicked off an immediate online frenzy. Trending on Twitter, exploding in Google search interest, and sparking massive Reddit and forum conversations within days. People are calling in sick to work to finish the season. This wasn't just a hit show. This was a cultural earthquake. And it came at the exact moment Netflix needed it most. Disney was sharpening their knives. HBO was planning their counterattack. Amazon was throwing billions at content. The streaming wars were about to begin. Stranger Things fired the first shot. Industry analysts would later estimate the show generated massive value for Netflix through subscriber growth, retention, and brand recognition, helping establish Netflix as the streaming leader before the real wars even started. This is the untold story of how one rejected 80s nostalgia show became the weapon that won a war nobody knew was coming. Buckle up. This one's a wild ride. 2015, Netflix has a problem. They've been hemorrhaging other companies' content. Disney pulls their movies. Viacom wants more money. Warner Bros. Is getting suspicious. NBC is taking The Office back. The writing is on the wall. Reed Hastings, Netflix's CEO, realizes they're in trouble. They're just a distribution platform, a fancy video store. And video stores died in 2010. They need original content. Not just some original content. They need a cultural phenomenon. But here's the brutal truth. Netflix's original programming strategy in 2015 is a mess. They've got House of Cards, expensive, prestigious, but not exactly water cooler conversation. Orange is the New Black, a hit, but niche. Marco Polo, a $90 million disaster that nobody watched. They're spending billions on content that's fine, but not transformative. Meanwhile, the competition is mobilizing. Industry insiders know Disney is planning something big. Warner Media is consolidating. Amazon is writing blank checks. Apple is lurking. Netflix has maybe 2 years before the streaming wars go nuclear. They need a show that will attract massive audiences, generate cultural obsession, prove binge-watching works, create a defendable moat. They need something that makes Netflix feel essential, and they're about to find it in the most unlikely place. 2 relatively unknown brothers from North Carolina with a script that networks across Hollywood had already rejected. The irony is brutal. 2013, 2015, Matt and Ross Duffer are going through hell. They're twins. Mid-30s, they've written one movie hidden that barely anyone saw. They've got a TV pilot they're shopping around. A sci-fi horror show inspired by Spielberg, Stephen King, and 1980s nostalgia. They call it Montauk. The pitch is simple. A small town, missing kid, secret government experiments, parallel dimension. Think E.T. meets The Twilight Zone meets Stand By Me. They take it to CBS, pass, ABC, pass, NBC, pass, Fox, pass. According to the Duffer Brothers in later interviews with Entertainment Media, many major networks rejected the show as they shopped it around Hollywood over an extended period. Every single one passed. The feedback is consistent. Too dark for kids, too weird for adults. The 80s nostalgia won't work. Who wants to watch a show about kids? There's no IP here, no franchise potential. One executive reportedly told them, "Nostalgia doesn't sell." That quote aged like milk. By 2015, the Duffers are desperate. They're running out of options. Their agents are losing faith. The script is getting stale. Then they get one last meeting. Netflix. And here's where it gets interesting. According to industry reporting and later interviews, Netflix executives saw potential that others missed. Netflix executives later pointed to strong performance of 80s-era films, and nostalgia content on their platform as a factor in their confidence about the project. Ted Sarandos and other executives discussed publicly how classic 80s films, E.T., The Goonies, Stand By Me, Alien, consistently performed well with their core millennial demographic. The Duffers don't know it yet, but they've accidentally written something that aligns perfectly with what Netflix's viewing data suggests their audience wants. Netflix greenlights Montauk in April 2015, renaming it Stranger Things. They order the entire season up front. No pilot, no testing. Just pure confidence. The budget? Several million per episode. A massive gamble for unproven content. The Duffers get complete creative control, unusual for first-time showrunners. Netflix's philosophy: trust the creators, let them cook. Casting is a masterclass in finding talent before they're famous. Millie Bobby Brown, 11 years old, virtually no credits. Finn Wolfhard, 12, complete unknown. The rest, kids who'd never carried a major production. No franchise IP, no guaranteed audience. Just vibes and Spielberg homages, scheduled for the dead zone of summer TV. Industry analysts call it Netflix's 80s horror gamble, destined for cult status at best. Some Netflix executives reportedly get nervous, but the decision is made. They're all in, July 15th, 2016. All 8 episodes drop at once. The gamble is about to pay off in ways nobody anticipated. July 15th, 2016, 12:01 a.m. Pacific Time. Stranger Things goes live. Within hours, Twitter explodes. Not gradually, organically. People stay up all night, hit the finale by 6 a.m., then immediately go online. Or Stranger Things trends by noon, one in America by evening, globally by the next day. Friends don't lie becomes a catchphrase. Eleven's ego obsession becomes a cultural reference. Memes spread faster than traditional marketing could achieve. This isn't normal buzz. Analytics firms document unprecedented engagement for a Netflix show. Entertainment sites that ignored the premiere scramble to cover it. But here's what changes everything: completion rates. People aren't sampling, they're devouring. Entire seasons in single sittings. Trade publications document viewers calling in sick, canceling plans, staying up until 3 a.m. Netflix had theorized binge watching could create cultural events. Stranger Things proves it definitively within 72 hours. The streaming wars haven't officially begun yet, but Netflix just fired the first shot, and it was a direct hit. August 2016, 1 month later. Netflix's Q3 numbers arrive. 3.57 million net additions, well above forecast. In their shareholder letter, Netflix acknowledges that strong content, including Stranger Things, drove the outperformance. Wall Street responds enthusiastically. But here's the strategic insight. It's not just new subscribers, it's retention. People aren't leaving. They're staying for season 2. Stranger Things creates something unprecedented: cultural appointment binge watching. Everyone watches immediately because everyone's talking about it immediately. Traditional TV worked on appointment viewing. Tune in Thursday at 8 p.m. or miss it. Netflix's model was watch whenever you want. But this show creates a new phenomenon: compressed cultural moments. FOMO drives consumption. Social media drives FOMO. Industry observers suggest Netflix realizes create content so compelling people must watch immediately to participate in cultural conversation. That's not just streaming. That's a moat. Disney can't replicate that overnight. HBO can't buy it. Amazon can't algorithm it into existence. Cultural phenomena are earned, not purchased. Netflix just proved they could create them. Stranger Things didn't randomly choose the 1980s. Netflix's data showed classic 80s films, E.T., The Goonies, Stand By Me, Alien, consistently performed well with their core millennial demographic. But the genius wasn't just setting it in the 80s. It was making the show feel like it came from the 80s. The cinematography mimicked Spielberg. The synth score channeled John Carpenter. The monster design borrowed from Alien. The kids on bikes adventure came straight from The Goonies. This hit millennials in their nostalgia centers like a freight train. Older millennials saw their childhood. Younger ones discovered their parents' movies. Gen Z got retro cool aesthetic they'd never experienced. The formula was perfect. Take beloved 80s elements, remix with modern production values, structure for binge watching, and serve to the exact demographic most likely to consume it. Critics called it algorithmic nostalgia. Netflix called it validation. They'd found an approach they could build on systematically. October 2016. Retailers across America report something unexpected. Customers demanding Stranger Things merchandise. Target, Hot Topic, Urban Outfitters scramble to stock Eleven's pink dress, Eggo waffles, Friends Don't Lie shirts. Not because Netflix told them to, because customers wanted it. Netflix quickly formalizes licensing deals. Hasbro for toys, Mattel for action figures, Funko for pop figures, Lego for building sets. Industry analysts describe the merchandising as unusually strong for a streaming-only show, comparable to theatrical franchises, unprecedented for TV. Traditional shows built merchandise slowly over years. Stranger Things created immediate demand because everyone watched it in the same 72-hour window. Everyone wanted merchandise simultaneously. This proves something crucial. Streaming hits could generate substantial merchandise revenue if the cultural impact was concentrated enough. Disney built an empire on merchandising over decades. Netflix proved they could create licensable brands in months. The streaming wars just became more complicated. Halloween 2016, 11 costume becomes one of the most searched costumes, competing with Star Wars and Marvel, franchises built over decades. A streaming show that launched in July was dominating Halloween in October. But it's not just Halloween. Kellogg's Eggo sees increased waffle sales in Q4 2016, the brand's first significant growth in years. They release Stranger Things themed packaging. Synthesizer music experiences resurgence. The soundtrack becomes one of the year's best-selling TV scores. Dungeons & Dragons sees sales increases, its best period in years. Arcade bars themed around 80s games begin opening in major cities. Owners cite Stranger Things as inspiration. The show isn't just referencing 80s culture, it's resurrecting it. But here's what matters for Netflix: sustained engagement. Unlike traditional TV where conversation peaks at launch then fades, Stranger Things generates ongoing discussion for months. People theorize about the Upside Down, create fan art, make memes, build communities. That's the moat. Content that generates ongoing engagement between seasons, keeping subscribers thinking about Netflix even when they're not watching. Stranger Things proved you could create event television without traditional infrastructure. Dominate cultural concept September 2016. Emergency meetings in Hollywood boardrooms. Disney's Bob Iger watches Stranger Things accelerate Disney Plus planning. AT&T accelerates HBO Max development. NBC Universal starts serious Peacock planning. Amazon doubles down on prestige content. Everyone realizes the same thing. Netflix isn't just ahead in subscribers. They're ahead in cultural capture. Versation without weekly releases. Build franchises without theatrical releases. Netflix did it first with a 3-year head start. By the time Disney Plus launches in November 2019, Netflix has 167 million global subscribers, multiple cultural phenomena, 3 years of binge-watching data, and global infrastructure already built. Most importantly, Stranger Things. Season 3 drops July 2019, right before competitors arrive. The streaming wars officially begin November 2019. But Netflix already won crucial early battles. They trained an entire generation to consume content the Netflix way. Even Disney had to adapt. When The Mandalorian launched with weekly releases, fans complained, "Why can't we binge it all?" Netflix changed consumer behavior. Stranger Things was the masterclass. October 27, 2017. Stranger Things. Season 2 drops. Netflix is nervous internally. Season 1 was lightning in a bottle. Can they catch it twice? The answer comes fast. Nielsen streaming ratings show 15.8 million viewers in the first 3 days, more than Season 1's entire first month. Social engagement increases substantially. critics worried about sophomore slump. Viewers didn't care. They binged Season 2 just as hard, if not harder. Season 2 proves the merchandising momentum wasn't one time. Halloween 2017 sees continued strong demand for costumes and merchandise. More importantly, Netflix's Q4 2017 subscriber growth exceeds Wall Street expectations. While Netflix doesn't break out show-specific impacts, analysts widely cite Stranger Things Season 2 as a probable contributor. Wall Street starts fundamentally changing Netflix valuation models. Netflix isn't just a streaming technology company or distribution platform. They're an IP company, building franchises that can compete with Disney, Warner Bros., Universal, the studios that have been doing this for 100 years. And they're doing it faster. Stranger Things went from zero to a global phenomenon in 18 months. That's not just impressive. That's terrifying to traditional media. July 4th, 2019, Independence Day. Netflix releases unprecedented viewership numbers. 40.7 million household accounts watched Season 3 in the first 4 days. Within 4 weeks, 64 million households. To compare, Game of Thrones finale, the most watched traditional TV episode, attracted 19.3 million viewers on premiere night. Stranger Things reached more than double that number of households in its opening weekend. The difference? Binge watching versus appointment viewing. Game of Thrones was a must-watch TV weekly. Stranger Things was a must-watch TV consumed instantly. Season 3 generates 582 million viewing hours in the first 4 weeks, more than any Netflix show had achieved. Merchandise sales hit new peaks. The never-ending story duet becomes a viral meme, spreading beyond the show's core audience. But here's what matters strategically. July 2019 is the same summer Disney Plus is being heavily marketed before its November launch. Disney is spending hundreds of millions, promising The Mandalorian, Marvel, Star Wars. Netflix needed to show they could still create culture-defining hits. Season 3's record launch sent exactly that message. The underdog is still winning. November 12th, 2019, Disney Plus launches with the most successful streaming debut in history. 10 million subscribers on day one. HBO Max launches May 2020. Peacock launches July 2020. Apple TV Plus launched November 2019. The streaming wars are officially here. But Netflix already won crucial early battles. They have 167 million global subscribers, proven franchises, 3 years of original hits, and global infrastructure operating. Most importantly, they trained an entire generation to consume content the Netflix way. When Disney Plus launches The Mandalorian with weekly releases, fans express frustration. Why can't we binge it all? Disney initially defends weekly releases as creating sustained engagement, but they eventually adapt. By 2021, Disney Plus experiments with batch releases, acknowledging audience expectations have shifted. Netflix fundamentally changed consumer behavior. Even competitors with century-old brands must adapt to Netflix's model now. Market research shows a substantial majority of streaming viewers prefer binge watching over weekly releases. Viewers increasingly cite binge-worthy content as key for subscribing. Stranger Things consistently ranks among top reasons for maintaining Netflix subscriptions. The competitors arrived with better legacy IP, but Netflix had already shaped consumption behavior to their advantage. That's a strategic victory. Stranger Things was globally available from day one. Traditional TV shows launched in America, then slowly rolled out internationally over months or years through various distribution deals. Stranger Things dropped simultaneously across Netflix's global footprint. Same day, same time, everywhere. The global conversation happened instantly. Twitter trends appeared worldwide simultaneously. Tokyo, Sao Paulo, Berlin, Mumbai, London, Seoul. Netflix made it available with subtitles in dozens of languages and dubbing in major markets. This proves something crucial for Netflix's international expansion. American content could resonate globally if distributed correctly. Disney's content was globally beloved but traditionally distributed slowly through theatrical windows and regional licensing. Warner's shows took years for full international expansion. Netflix's binge model plus global simultaneous release created instant worldwide cultural events. Everyone, everywhere, talking about the same thing at the same time. By the time competitors launched their services, Netflix had already established global cultural infrastructure they couldn't replicate overnight. They'd have to build it from scratch while Netflix already had it operating. By 2020, Netflix applied Stranger Things lessons across their content strategy. The Witcher, fantasy with gaming nostalgia. The Umbrella Academy, comic book adaptation with alternative aesthetic. Cobra Kai, pure 80s nostalgia for Gen X. The Queen's Gambit, Cold War aesthetic with chess. Bridgerton, period romance with modern sensibilities. Pattern recognition and replication. Netflix's content strategy increasingly focuses on properties that can generate cultural conversation and strong binge-watching behavior. They're not just commissioning content anymore. They're engineering cultural moments systematically, informed by Stranger Things performance data. Identify content with strong audience appeal signals. Invest in high-quality production values. Structure narratives for binge-watching. Drop entire seasons simultaneously globally. Let social media organically amplify conversation. Build merchandise partnerships quickly. Greenlight additional seasons rapidly for hits. It's strategic, data-informed, systematic, and effective. By 2020, Netflix has multiple shows generating massive engagement. The Witcher, 76 million households. Tiger King, pandemic phenomenon. The Queen's Gambit, 62 million households. They've systematized cultural hit creation. Stranger Things proved the model. The final test was sustaining it while competitors threw billions at trying to replicate it. Stranger Things succeeded because it understood what streaming fundamentally enables. Traditional TV was appointment viewing. Watch Thursday at 8 p.m. or miss it. Streaming was supposed to be about convenience. Watch whatever, whenever. But Stranger Things revealed something deeper. Streaming is about emotional on-demand. You don't just want to watch a show. You want to feel something specific. Remember something. Experience something emotionally resonant. The 80s nostalgia wasn't just an aesthetic choice. It was emotional architecture, deliberately constructed to trigger specific feelings across generations. Different generations got different emotional payoffs, but everyone felt something intensely. The binge model amplified this. You didn't just watch an episode. You immersed yourself completely for 8 hours straight. That's experiential, not traditional television watching. Netflix realized they're not competing with HBO or Disney just for best shows. They're competing with movies, video games, novels, any activity providing immersive emotional escape. Stranger Things proved they could win that broader competition for attention and emotional engagement. In the attention economy, emotions are the currency that matters most. Stranger Things enters its final chapter with Season 5, structured as a 3-part global event release. Netflix maintains approximately 260 to 280 million paid memberships globally. Though exact figures vary, the streaming wars have evolved. Disney Plus exceeded 150 million subscribers. HBO Max merged into Max. Peacock found footing with sports content. Amazon spends massively on Lord of the Rings and Fallout. But Netflix remains market leader in subscribers and cultural impact. Not because they have objectively the best content library. That's debatable. Not because they have the biggest legacy franchises. They don't. Netflix maintains leadership because Stranger Things taught them something fundamental. Content library size isn't king. Cultural relevance and conversation are. You can have the biggest IP in entertainment history, but if people aren't actively talking about it, sharing it, memeing it, dressing up as characters for Halloween, engaging with it culturally, it doesn't create the same value. Stranger Things created a blueprint for cultural impact in the streaming era. Analysts estimate it generated billions in value through subscriber growth, retention, merchandise, and brand equity. The final season is expected to generate one of Netflix's largest cultural and economic impacts, cementing its position as the franchise that helped define the streaming era. So here we are. A show about kids fighting monsters in a small Indiana town became the show that helped Netflix dominate the streaming era and fundamentally changed how we consume television. Nobody in Hollywood saw it coming. Multiple major networks rejected Stranger Things. They said nostalgia doesn't sell. They said kids aren't compelling leads for prestige TV. They said there's no franchise potential without established IP. They were wrong about everything that mattered because they were thinking about television. Netflix was thinking about culture and behavior change. They understood something traditional media didn't. In the streaming era, it's not about having the largest content library or the most established brands. It's about creating cultural moments people feel compelled to participate in immediately. Stranger Things proved you could manufacture cultural phenomena if you understood your audience. You could win wars with shows, not just century-old franchises. You could change consumption behavior, not just capture existing audiences. By the time Disney arrived with the biggest IP arsenal in entertainment history, Netflix had already won the battle that mattered. They'd established binge-watching as the default consumption model for an entire generation. And that's the strategic lesson. It's not about who has the best content. It's about who defines how content is consumed. Drop your story in the comments. Because this show wasn't just entertainment. It was a shared cultural moment that millions experienced together. And it changed television forever. Hit subscribe for more deep dives into how entertainment and technology changed our world. And remember, sometimes the biggest winners are the ones everyone initially rejected. Stranger Things proved it, and Netflix rode that proof to dominance. See you in the next one.